Welcome to Quest Through with Oliver Keresia, where we say things as they are, as they come. Today I want to demystify grief, and there's so many myths about grief. But I may not be able to look at all of them, but a few of them, of whatever I can remember. First of all, let me try to define for you in the easiest way possible what grief is. Grief is basically the natural emphasis on natural response to loss. So whatever the loss is, whatever you've lost, your response to that is what grieving is. Then another thing that I want to emphasize before I even go down to the myths is that grief is very personal. It's a very personal thing, and nobody should tell you that you should grieve like so and so. It's just personal. So our responses are unique. Our responses are different to the same situation. That's one thing that we need to know. Then another thing that I would also want to emphasize is there's no timeline for you to grieve. People grieve differently. People grieve at different intervals and different timelines. So let us just be clear about that. Now let me go to the myths. There's so many myths that we've heard about grieving. Myth number one is somebody tells you if you ignore some pain, you'll heal faster. That is a lie. The one thing that I want to beseech you and ask of us, each one of us, is whenever we go through a loss, actively deal with the loss. Let the emotions come and grieve through that loss in the best way you can. Just grieve. Let it be natural. It's a natural process. Don't try to hide and ignore, because ignoring only postpones your pain, but it doesn't get the pain done with. Then another thing that I would also want us to, another myth that I've heard is if you don't cry, you're not sorry for the loss. Crying is only one way is only one reaction towards a loss. So that is it. So there are people who will cry, and there are those who will just go silent and mute completely. There's only one way of grieving. Then you've heard of somebody saying you must be strong through the loss. This being strong thing means that you suppress your emotional reactions towards a certain situation. So the moment you suppress it, you also just push it further. And that day that this thing will explode, it will really go down with you. So there's nothing like being strong. Just deal with it the best way you can. How it come, let it come and deal with it. Then you've heard of grieving should take maybe 1 year. It should be over the loss. That is a lie. There is no loss that has a timeline for you to grieve over. You can, the same situation, there's one person who's going to grieve about the same situation within a year. And the same situation given to a different person, that person can grieve that situation for 10 years. That actually should be able to demonstrate to us the difference, the uniqueness that we all have as individuals. Then there's something about, forget the loss. Forgetting the loss is now you're done with the grieving. When you forget the loss, there's nothing like forgetting the loss. Try to forget the loss. That's what people say. Try to forget that loss. It's as good as telling me to ignore. So necessarily, there are people, you'll go through a loss, but if you deal with it actively, with time, you'll always be aware of the loss, but there is acceptance. You'll be able to accept the loss that you've gone through. So acceptance is more important than that thing that people are telling you to forget. You might accept but not forget. So acceptance is what is very crucial. So whatever it is, whatever the situation, do it your own way. Whatever is a job loss, if it's a job loss, if it is a divorce you're going through, if it's a health, illness, if you're going through retirement, whatever it is, just do it your own way. For all of us are created unique. Thank you. See you next time.